I'll try to make it quick. Terry over there was actually just shaking my arm to raise my hand up because people who hear my story always come to me and ask me to tell my story. Pretty much, I started 3 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 3 kids, and my kids are now 15, 12, and 7. And pretty much I ran to soccer practice, went to bunco on Friday night, and my excitement of my life was baking cupcakes and chocolate chip cookies, and that was a lot of fun, and I was pretty content with that. But then after 14 years of marriage, my husband came home one day, packed up a U-Haul, and left. And he left me with 3 kids. I had no credit, I had no job, I had no job skills. I got married when I was 18. I didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do, and it was so bad that I honestly couldn't even get a checking account. I went from bank to bank to bank trying to get a checking account. I didn't understand credit cards, I didn't understand credit, I didn't understand banking, I didn't understand any of those things. And there I was trying to get by, so I started waitressing at night. And pretty much I thought things couldn't get any worse. I hated life, I hated men, I hated everything. And then, of course, when you hate everything, what happens? My friend made me go on a double date. And it turned out to be one of the best things ever because I met Eric, who's in the back of the room, my partner in investing, and my boyfriend. And but we met each other and we became friends, and as things go, when you start developing a relationship, you tell each other secrets. He came home one day with a big secret for me, and it was a secret website, which is kind of funny. I laugh about it. It's propertyroom.com. You guys have to check out this website. It's a share of sales, and there we are. We're clicking around. We're looking at cars and watches, and we're clicking on everything, and I click on the real estate, and a light bulb went off in my head, and I said, gosh, real estate, look at these houses. They're $10,000. I didn't think it was real. So the next day I went down to the library and I checked out every book. I mean, a stack that big. And I came home and I started reading them all. I can quote them for you. Robert Allen, Carlton Sheets, Russ Whitney. I knew every one of these books backwards and forwards. And Eric would come home and I would tell him everything I read that day. So I was sitting here teaching him what I learned from the library. And I decided I was going to be a real estate investor. Didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I needed a better job. So I went to look for a job. I went and I found a job at Wells Fargo, which I kind of laugh about because I couldn't get a checking account, but here I am giving out checking accounts. I'm doing lines of credit, I'm doing loans, I'm giving people home equity, and I didn't even have a house. So it was kind of funny. But that all started the whole cycle of me wanting to be an investor. I started learning. People were coming in the bank with big $300,000, $400,000 checks, and I knew there was a way. Eric took an investment in me, and he spent close to $30,000 in real estate classes on me and him going together. We started doing the whole driving for dollars. I don't know if anybody's done that. Driving through the neighborhoods, looking for the dead grass and the broken windows. I don't know if you've seen them, the orange sign in the window, and you run up to the door to see if it's a foreclosure. You get all excited and you run home. So you pull it up. We started doing that. We got really excited every time we saw one. We did this. Sometimes we'd leave at 8 o'clock in the morning in our sweats and a cup of coffee, and we'd do this till 8 o'clock at night. But we had no money because we spent it all on classes. So the next challenge was to come up with some money. We stopped eating out. Eric stopped taking me on dates, and we stayed home. And but he managed to save up close to $4,000 or $5,000 in a few months. And we found the property finally. I feel kind of bad when I think about it, but the guy actually died, and we got the property from his kids. And that same week we put the offer in. We actually went to see a class in San Diego from the Learning Annex, which was Carissa Colley, who's the speaker tonight. And that was about 2 years ago when we put in our first offer. And we went to see her class, and we kind of hounded her after class. She was probably like wishing we'd go away. But we kind of kept bugging her. And she said to us about a punch list. So we went back to the house, we made a whole punch list, including the beehive that was in the backyard, on this list, and we sent it over with the house offer. And we got a house here in California for $240,000. So we thought we won the lottery. Eric went over and cleaned it up, took care of the beehive, did all of those kind of things, and we had the house reappraised at $410,000. So from there, we pulled that money, bought our next house in North Carolina, which we kind of joke about it was a mistake, but it wasn't. We learned a lot. And then we went into Ohio, and then the next week Eric turned around and bought 5 properties in Ohio, which I wasn't happy about, but he was excited. So it all just started spiraling from there, and now we have teams. We go into cities and we build teams, and we get everybody in place, and we get properties, and now I have so many properties coming in. That's why I come here to share them with everyone. So I quit my job in December to do this full time, and Eric just quit his job last month, and we're loving this, and we're having a lot of fun, and our mission is to help everyone. So.
I just when did you start? Like, when did you do that house in California?
We started, I think it was less than 2 years ago. It's been, I would say, about 21 months, maybe almost 2 years now, is actually when we bought our first property. We spent a good year fooling around, wasting money, going to classes, but we realized you just got to just go do it. And then using the system I got from Carissa, she's the first person who told me there really is $10,000 properties out of state. We actually bought a property for $12,000 in Ohio, which we kind of laugh about because we didn't know that was possible. And we did really just put it on a credit card. So there is these properties for $10,000, $12,000. I joke, I saw a car driving down the street and it said $19,000 on the back window for sale. And I said, I don't know, I could buy that car or I can buy a house. So, you know, it's great. You can do that, and you really can get started on a credit card, and you can get started all these other ways. So we started less than 2 years ago, and it's just been spiraling. I actually call it a snowball. I'm like that cartoon character running with the snowball chasing me. I can't keep up with it all.
Thank you so much.